Alright, what's up my dudes? There's two keywords to this video that we're going to go over today. First one being manipulation, second one being engagement. How this relates to Bungie, your favorite content creators, and oddly enough, the Food and Drug Administration. I'm going to shed light on what's actually going on right now. There's a lot of fluff and huff about a lot of things in the Destiny community, and it's really simple once you understand where it's all coming from. It's coming from a place of money. That's it. Once you guys have that understanding, everything else I tell you from this point forward should seem pretty self-explanatory. I'm a huge advocate for forgiving somebody if they don't understand what was going on around them. We call that ignorance. We're all ignorant at some time in life. But after you understand this, process, the manipulation, the engagement tactics here, and you still consider going forward with everything that's going on, just know that this is now a choice as opposed to you holding yourself personally accountable. Okay, let's get right into the video. So this dude right here says that if you're not having fun playing Destiny 2 PvP, that you should just quit. Now, the short-sightedness of that statement was completely astounding, and yes, I did watch the video. Nowhere in that video did he mention the fact that Bungie spent 3 years of their development cycle learning and researching exactly what it is to keep players engaged so that they are addicted to their video game. Everything about this game is made to be addictive in a sense that you cannot just quit the game cold turkey. So when somebody tells you that you should just quit, you should just do something else, it's not accurate. Not entirely. Look, this reminds me, as a personal trainer, working with people that have issues with food, the fact is, FDA, here's my comparison here, manipulates things in such a way that you are addicted to what is going on within your food, and it's allowed. So the FDA, they allow something within the research of food science known as the bliss point, and that is complemented by something known as managing caloric density. The bliss point is the scale of 1 to 10, 3 to 4 being the point of bliss when you chew a piece of food. It's so pleasurable that you cannot stop, and then you've got 3 different items attached to that. It's fat, sugar, and salt. Those 3 things are what correlate to a bliss point with humans, so that when you eat a thing, you have to continue eating that thing, almost like it's a survival instinct. It's so enjoyable, so pleasurable. Now, managing caloric density is where they made the food item and they took out certain quality ingredients so that after you ate that food item, you then become hungry more quickly. It's a perfect business model. So, that is Destiny in a nutshell. It's the junk food of the video game world, and it's designed specifically to be that way based on psychological research of its player base. So just know that when somebody says to you, oh, you should just quit this video game, or if you don't like microtransactions, you should just avoid them completely, or any other nonsense that they seem to want to come up with lately, they're purposely making you feel bad about something that you didn't have direct control over. You got a company here that specifically sunk its hooks into you in a lot of ways and means to be incredibly manipulative. And now you got a major content creator telling you it's entirely your fault. This is not true. And I want you guys to know that. I want you to hear it from me first, okay? It's baloney. As with all my clients, the first step to solving any problem is identifying that there is one. Now that we know what they're doing, now that we know there is a problem, it's time for you to identify whether or not you have an addiction to Destiny. Let's identify what an addiction to Destiny would look like based on the same exact criteria from clients that I have that are specific to weight loss. If you feel the need to log in every Tuesday, almost like it's some type of obligation, then yes, they have manipulated you and they are taking advantage of you. If you have the need to go after a quote-unquote God raw weapon because of their loot-based RNG garbage that they have specifically pinned into this game, then yes, you are being manipulated. It's time for you to recognize what that is, how that feels, and whether or not you're actually okay with it. So I say whether or not you're okay with it, because I'm now going to treat you all like you're the adults that, my target audience says that they are. If you do not feel like you are happy with letting a company have this form of power and manipulation over you, then it's time for you to take a step back or redirect. Now, I don't expect you to be able to just quit a video game. Remember, it is specifically designed psychologically through millions of dollars of research to keep you hooked. So, if you cannot do that, the best option you have is to redirect to something different for now. I'd say if you're going to redirect, to do it to another video game that you think would be really fun or beneficial for you. So I know Diablo 4 is popping off right now. I've been playing Grounded because that game has been super fun, and the type of style that game is just reminds me of childhood, so I'm really enjoying it. Every now and then I'll still log on to Destiny because I enjoy the PvP, and yes, I'm making videos about how to enjoy PvP and get better at it, so hopefully you guys are still finding some value from those, and ranking your way up through the competitive ranks. So let's talk about engagement real quick. Just so you guys know, the way companies, businesses, and otherwise view engagement is good or bad, it's all engagement. They don't care whether or not you're mad. Actually, the more mad you are, the more happy they are. So, that shows me that they really don't care about the person playing their game. They care about the money that's involved with getting somebody upset with them. Now, as funny as that sounds, that's a legitimate business tactic and a legitimate way of getting an idea of what's going on, reading the room, or whatever you want to call it. If you're angry about something, just know that it could have been manufactured. These content creators that make these videos about microtransactions and otherwise, it's still keeping your attention on Destiny, isn't it? So just remember, it's not necessarily that they're bad-mouthing Bungie. I don't think there comes a such thing from a content creator that's been paid off by Bungie to actually badmouth them without their full approval, basically. Because any engagement whatsoever coming from any of these guys keeps your attention on the video game. Whether that's good or bad is irrelevant, because you are having an emotional reaction to something. And the more emotions you have involved, the more likely that you're going to stick around and play the game. It's designed that way. I was able to get my hands on one of their mastermind documents that has to do with core beliefs, prejudices, and different things like that. The whole goal of having an a topic like that is to basically create a problem, such as a prejudice, such as, oh, things are really bad right now, so that they can then market and overcome that thing that they created. You guys have seen this in the Destiny life cycle for years now. They'll literally take content away from the game just to bring it back in later, and then everyone praises them for that. Specifically the content creators that are starting to talk bad about the company right now. So, remember, it's engagement, which leads to money. They're engaging in something that is their lifeline. That lifeline keeps you, their customer, engaged. They talk about things that are inherently negative, even though they're framing it in kind of a neutral way. They are not your friend. They're not there to be neutral with you. They're there to keep you engaged. Whether that's good or bad is irrelevant. They directed it at Bungie this one time, and whether or not you see that as good or bad is irrelevant, because if you discuss it, if you talk about it, if you share those videos, you're still engaged. Guess what that means? They're still winning. That's all that is. You're just a number to them. They want your money. Really simple topic, dude. The more they can get you emotionally upset, the more they can manipulate you. Going back into the front of the video, this is all designed. Do you really believe these content creators are not in Bungie's pocket? Of course they are, dude. They get invited to summits no matter what video they post. I'm not entirely convinced that they're not sending videos to Bungie for their approval. I don't know that for sure, but I can make that accusation, because how is it that they could say some of the worst things, quote-unquote, about a company and still get invited to some of these summits to check out the new stuff that's coming out? I don't believe it for a second, dude. Bunch of lying, manipulating people, and they're doing it so they can get you money. Hey, that's their livelihood. I applaud them for all the effort they've done to put into this. But now that you guys know, it's your job to hold yourselves accountable, like I said. If that bothers you, then change it, or redirect it to something else. Because while you guys are still buying Eververse items, while you guys are still playing the game that you apparently hate, they're winning. They are beating you in this regard. And if you're okay with that, then keep playing. I personally enjoy PvP in this game. I don't care about the PvE that much, but a lot of people really enjoy that side of it, so do what makes you happy, dudes. I'm not here to tell you what you do. I'm just here to tell you this is what is going on. So you guys at least have an understanding that it is on purpose, and no, it's not your fault. That's it for this video. Hopefully you guys found it entertaining and interesting and a bit educational. Remember to like, subscribe. Also remember I love all you guys. Keep it zen out there. I'll see you in the next one.